Hello student, today we will learn a new topic torque from the chapter electric charges and field. In class 11 you have learned about torque. There you have seen when two equal and opposite forces applied on a body, a rotational effect can be seen on the body. It is the torque. And also you have learned that torque can be measured by the product of either the force and the perpendicular distance between the two forces. In this chapter, we will learn the torque experienced by an electric dipole when it is placed in an uniform electric field. So, our first topic is about the torque experienced by an electric dipole. So, let us start. Torque experienced by an electric dipole when placed in a uniform electric field. Uniform electric field, that is, everywhere the electric force will be same. So let us consider a uniform electric field. Uniform electric field E, its direction is given there by the arrow. Now let us consider a dipole AB that plays in the uniform electric field. AB is the at A minus Q charge is there, at B plus Q charge is there. Its center is O, dipole AB. Center is O and its dipole length is twice L. Now, the force on the charge plus Q, we already know that whenever an electric field is there, uniform electric field is there, the plus Q charge on the charge, the force is QE and its direction is towards the electric field. So, plus Q charge, its force will be on plus Q charge QE and its direction will be towards the electric field. On charge minus Q, electric field will be QE, electric force will be QE and its direction will be opposite to electric field. So its direction is opposite to electric field and the force is minus QE. So what will be the net force on the dipole? Net force on the dipole, it is QE minus QE, that is 0. So the net force on the dipole is 0. Now the torque that experienced by the dipole, that thing we have to calculate. Then torque, its symbol is tau. Then torque will be tau is equal to, its formula is magnitude of either force into the perpendicular distance between the forces. Now, magnitude of either force, it is QE. So it is QE into the perpendicular distance between the two. Suppose the dipole makes an angle theta with the electric field E. So dipole is two component. This side its component will be twice L cos theta, as it is close, this component is close to the theta, and the perpendicular component will be twice L sin theta. So perpendicular distance, that is BC. BC is the perpendicular distance, so there will be QE BC, that is twice L sin theta. Twice L sin theta. Okay. Now the dipole moment already you know from the earlier videos, that is dipole moment, its direction is minus Q2 plus Q, and dipole moment P is equal to, it is its magnitude is twice L Q. Already you know. Then P its direction, dipole moment its direction minus Q2 plus B. So there will be twice LQ, that is we can write as P, and there is E sin theta. So in vector form, torque in vector form, tau is equal to P sin theta, that is cross product, that is P vector into E vector. It's okay. So it is the expression for torque that is experienced by an electric dipole when it placed in a uniform electric field. Now the question is there that the force, that is the torque, when it will be maximum and when it will be minimum. Actually it depends on the angle theta. So let's see that when it will be maximum and when it will be minimum. When theta is equal to 0 degree, that is the angle between the dipole moment and the electric field is parallel. That is the electric dipole moment is parallel to electric field, then sin 0, that is sin 0 0, that is tau is equal to 0. That is no torque acts on the dipole. When theta is equal to 0 degree, then tau is equal to 0. 2 number, when theta is equal to 180 degree, that is, and in this condition the dipole will be in stable equilibrium. When theta is equal to 180 degree, that is when the dipole moment is anti-parallel to the electric field, then also tau is equal to 0. That is when dipole moment is anti-parallel to the electric field, then also no torque acts on the dipole, electric dipole. 3 number, when theta is equal to 90 degree, that is when the dipole moment is perpendicular to the electric field, then tau is equal to PE. That is when dipole moment is perpendicular to the electric field, then maximum torque acts on the dipole, electric dipole. Okay, so that's all from the torque that experienced by an electric dipole when placed in a uniform electric field. Our second topic is about the distribution, continuous distribution of electric charges. So second topic, you write down the second topic. Number topic is continuous distribution of charges. in the continuous distribution of charges, it is said that in a space, if the electric charges is closely spaced, then they form a continuous distribution of charges. Now, that continuous distribution of charges may be linearly, may be on the surface, or may be on the entire volume. When the distribution electric charges distributed uniformly in a line, then the linear charge it will be linearly continuous distribution of charges, and that time the linear charge density, then the linear charge density will be 1 number linear charge density. Its symbol is lambda equal to Q by L, where Q is the charge that is uniformly distributed along the line of length L. 2 number is when the distribution is on the surface of area S, then what will be the surface charge density? Let's see. Surface charge density, its symbol is rho, it is sigma, then sigma is equal to Q by S, where Q is the charge that is uniformly distributed on the surface of area S. Last one is volume charged density, its symbol is rho, it is rho is equal to Q by V, where Q is the charge that is uniformly distributed throughout the volume of V. So, in this way, in the continuous distribution of charges, that can be possible linearly or on the surface of area S or through the entire volume. Now, in that case, what will be the force on the charge that is distributed linearly on the line? Let's see that thing. So, force for continuous linear charge distribution. Force that is for the electric field, whatever the force on the charged body, that is force for continuous linear charge distribution. The force will be Q by 4 pi epsilon naught integration throughout the length. It is lambda by r square dl r cap. Okay, so integration of total length have to take, and lambda is the linear charge density is there. So in this way we can get that whatever the force, electric force on continuous linear charge distribution, that line. Again, when the charge is distributed through the surface, then what will be the electric force? Force for continuous surface charge distribution. It will be F is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. There will be the surface integration of surface. There will be rho by sigma by r square ds dot r cap. Okay, and the last one is force for continuous volume charge distribution. Volume charge distribution, it will be F is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught volume integration rho by r square dv r cap. So in this way we can calculate the force for linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution, and for volume charge distribution. That's all from continuous distribution of charges. Now the third topic is about the flux. So let's see, the third topic is electric flux. About the electric flux. Before starting the topic about electric flux, we should know that area is a scalar quantity or vector quantity. I think many of you will say that area is a scalar quantity because side into side, that is side square, is the formula for the area. But actually area is a vector quantity. So to understand that area, how it is a vector quantity, first let us consider three axes x, y and z. Consider a square A, B, C, D. Its side is A and A. Now area of that square, area AB, area of ABCD, it will be the vector product of two sides, that is AB in cross BC. Okay, now AB, it is vector product, so we know that vector product gives us the big vector quantity. Now the angle between AB and BC is 90 degree. Here is 90 degree. So what will be AB, that is its side is A, BC also it is A, and then vector is there, so there will be sin theta, that is there is 90 degree. So sin 90 degree, you know sin 90 degree, that is 1, that is coming a square. For that reason a square by a square we are calculating the area, but as it is coming by the vector product, so it is a vector quantity. Now the question is there that as it is a vector quantity, what will be its direction? From the vector chapter also we know that resultant of two vector quantity, its direction is always perpendicular to the plane containing the two vector. That is here AB vector and BC vector, that is its direction will be along z axis. Maybe it is positive z axis or negative z-axis. For the plane surface, that is for for two-dimensional cases, the area vector is direction along positive direction, also in negative direction also it is possible. But for the three-dimensional cases, the area is always, it is outside the surface, that is always it is the in the positive direction. Let us consider a three-dimensional case. Sorry. When we consider three-dimensional case, whatever the cube is there, it is closed surface. It is considered as a closed surface. In that case, the area, the plane surface, its area, always its area vector is directed perpendicularly, but it is always outside. It is always outside. Every side, its area vector is directed outside. If you consider a cylinder, then also see its area vector, its direction area vector will directed outwards. In this way, area vector for three-dimensional cases always will directed outwards the surface, and it is perpendicularly outwards surface. Okay. Now let's start about the electric flux. Electric flux is the number of electric lines of force. What is electric flux? Is the number of electric lines of force that passes perpendicularly to the plane surface. Okay, that is, if you consider a surface, let us take first okay. Now how many it is through that plane surface the electric lines of force are passing? Electric flux is symbol is phi E. Now from there you can say that what is the electric flux? There will be S from the surface. The electric lines of forces 2 is passing through the surface, so the electric flux for that one will be 2. Number will be 2. So that is that how many lines of forces passing through the plane surface, that is the electric flux. Now if the electric field its strength is increased, that is the number of lines of force also will be more. That is, suppose the electric field is strength of electric field is more, then the number of lines passes through the surface will be more. In this way, lines of force, how many passes through the surface? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is, there the electric flux is 5. Also, if the area is more, then also the number of lines also will be more. That is, it is clear that electric flux is proportional to electric field strength, and also it is proportional to area. For that reason, we can write that electric flux QE is equal to E dot A. It's okay? Now the question is there, electric flux is there. Now the question is there that electric field and area vector, why it is with dot product? Why not it is a cross product? See why? Consider a surface. The area vector is directed outwards. Consider a electric line that passes the surface with an angle theta. Now the electric field will be resolved into two components. One component will be E sin theta, another component will be E cos theta. Okay, now it is also clear that the component E sin theta will not be responsible for the electric lines of force, because electric lines of force is that number of lines of which one is passes perpendicularly from the surface. That is, E cos theta will be responsible for the electric lines of force. For that reason, we have to take E cos theta is the component for the electric lines of force. So the electric flux, there will be the electric flux is equal to E cos theta dot E cos theta into A. So there is E cos theta. Cos theta, that is it will be the dot product. For that reason, the expression for electric flux is E dot A. Is clear? Now what will be the unit for electric flux? Electric flux, its unit will be, SI unit will be E is equal to, we can write F by Q. So F by Q, what will be the SI unit? F by Q, F for SI unit is Newton and Q is Coulomb. A is its unit is meter square. So SI unit for electric flux, what will be? Newton per Coulomb meter square. Okay, so that's all about electric flux. In this way, in this video, we have learned about the torque, and also we have learned about the continuous distribution of charges, and last our topic was electric flux. So that's all for today. In the next video, I'll come with more new topic. Thank you.